Welcome to Melbourne Shuffle 101.
Tell me, baby, tell me I'm the one you need.
Thank you so much for being here today. What's up, Shuffle Babies? It's Kentobaby. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kento. I have 6 years of shuffle dance experience, and today I'm extremely excited to share with you how to do the Melbourne Shuffle from zero dance experience. Alright, so before we go straight into dancing, I wanted to establish the history, the style development, personal experience, essence, and definition. This is something that I would do in an in-person class before jumping right into dancing, so here we go. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that there are hundreds of sources that have contributed to my take on this topic, from classes, sessions, labs, performances, discussions, battles, meetups, videos, articles, and life experiences over the last 6 years since the start of my shuffle journey. Here are some sources. The historical context and evolution of styles. The following information is derived from my research, primarily referencing the shuffle timeline on Instagram. While I strive for accuracy, please bear in mind that there may be room for corrections. When examining the origins of shuffling, it is essential to consider its development in both the UK and Melbourne. In the mid-1980s, the dance emerged in the UK, initially known as dropfoot, and later as UK Shuffle from 2011 to 2015. Meanwhile, in Melbourne, it was referred as stomping from the late 1980s to the late 1990s, later evolving into the Melbourne Shuffle from the early 2000s to the present day. The term cutting shapes emerged in the early 2010s as an alternative way to describe dancing the UK Shuffle, with both terms used interchangeably. During this period, the Melbourne Shuffle saw further development, incorporating styles such as Malaysian and Cali style. Many elements became recognized as foundational elements to shuffling within the various styles stemming from the branch of Melbourne. And between 2014 and 2018, American dancers began developing the cutting shape style, which then further development happened by Spanish and Latin American dancers from 2016 and onward to create the cutting shape style as we see it today. Exploring the distinction between shuffling and cutting shapes. To many in the community who may not have deep expertise in either shuffling, branching from the Melbourne Shuffle, or shaping, branching from the UK Shuffle and developed to the style as we see it today, shapes and shuffle may appear indistinguishable. However, those well-versed in both styles, or even just one, recognize distinct foundational elements separating the two. This observation has led to the emergence of terms like hybrid shuffle, shuffling shapes, or shuffle shapes, acknowledging the blending of influences and the evolution of personal dance styles drawing from both realms. If individuals are being labeled as hybrid, doesn't it suggest that they're blending two styles? Thus, isn't it evident that shuffling and shaping are distinct? While it's true that cutting shapes as it exists today traces its roots back to the UK Shuffle, one could argue that this shared ancestry doesn't negate the distinct evolution of cutting shapes as its own style. Acknowledging the historical connection is crucial, but equally important is considering how these dances have developed and are danced in the present day. Here's what I believe defines shaping and shuffling as their own styles. From my understanding, shuffling branches from the foundational elements of the Melbourne Shuffle, including the running man and T-step, along with various other techniques. This style is characterized by a grounded, stomping dance approach, emphasizing the coverage of space and incorporating quick kicks, spins, glides, and much more as you develop your own style. Shuffling involves transitions through techniques such as shuffling, dragging, and pivoting your foot across the floor, creating unnecessary friction, maintaining foot flat contact with the floor for the majority of movements. The overall rhythm or bounce of shuffling tends to feel more connected to the ground. This dance form organically emerged alongside heavier music genres like hardstyle, trance, and techno. And from my understanding, cutting shapes originating from the UK as UK Shuffle underwent a unique development in the mid-2010s, particularly as dancers from the US, Spain, and Latin America began shaping its overall style as we see it today. Unlike shuffling, cutting shapes encompasses a broader range of foundational steps and footwork, including Charleston, running man variations, heel toe, crisscross, Indian step, happy feet, V-step, X-step, and so much more. Additionally, it incorporates elements such as shape-shifting with your upper body and arms, swinging, kicking, twisting, with transitions involving hopping from one position to another, often with the foot on the heel or toe. The overall rhythm or bounce of cutting shapes tends to feel more uplifting and airborne. This dance style organically emerged alongside lighter music genres like UK garage house, deep house, bass house, and future house. Alright, so all in all, I'd like to emphasize that everything that I've said so far is based off of my research and what I believe in. I'm not speaking on behalf of the community or speaking on behalf of anyone else. I recognize there may still be gaps in my argument, and while it's crucial to discuss these topics, the ultimate focus should remain on dancing itself. It is through continued engagement, growth, and exploration as dancers that our community will gain greater clarity in the years to come. Through increased participation in dance classes, sessions, labs, knowledge sharing, educating, battling, and simply enjoying ourselves, we can collectively navigate towards a clear understanding of our craft. So looking ahead, it is imperative that we remain committed to our own overarching purpose, goal, and intentions as dancers, embracing diverse perspectives and maintaining positive attitudes towards the lifelong journey of dance.
All right, let's dance. So the first thing we're going to do to dive into the whole realm of Melbourne shuffling, right? For someone who's never danced before or someone who is experienced in shuffling, I always like to start with our upper body / bounce, okay? So try this with me. We're just going bang, 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 hit, 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 hit. We're bending our knees and we're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, okay? So this is going to be kind of our base for now, okay? There aren't any steps. We're just practicing this groove here, this feeling, this little upper body, this little bounce, okay? This is kind of what a lot of Melbourne rockers, Melbourne shufflers, or even any shuffler, right? You can even hit a little step, 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 step. You stand tall, boom, on every count, okay? So that's and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Try it with me. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Huge shout out to Migs. I remember him teaching me a few years back that this kind of feeling helps him get into the groove for his foundational steps, all right? So once again, we're bending our knees, right? And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You don't necessarily have to go and 1 and stand tall perfectly straight with your legs extended. It just needs to be an emphasis that you're going and 1, and in the upper body, you're crunching and opening. You're crunching and opening at the upper torso, okay? It's not so much like a hunch, open, slightly, yes. What I want to get to you is while you have a straight posture, I want to bring in and out, in, out. Your core remains active, okay? Your core remains active. You're not necessarily going hoo ha like this, right? It's more letting the knees do its work. Without it, I'm literally just doing this with my upper body. Da, da. With the lower body, I'm able to accentuate and highlight this feeling. Ta, ta. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You feel me? Yeah? You feel me? Yeah. Okay. So let's try it with the steps now. You're going and right. So we're going da, 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 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Let's accentuate this chest movement by using our arms like so. Ba, 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 ba. Let your elbows and wrist be relaxed, right? And we're just doing a light flick here. You can even angle it this way if you want, or this way, kind of like chicken wings. Yeah, okay. Do one and the other. You can even hold it and hold it. Yeah, you can shift your body to the left. Yes, to the right, to the left. Okay, this shift in the body will come into play as we get into the foundational steps of the Melbourne Shuffle. For now, we're gonna play some music and let's just bop around. All right, so this is like 95 BPM, very slow. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bend your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Crunch, open, crunch, open, crunch, open, crunch, open. Sa, 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 sa. Yes. Hey, hey, hey. Use your arms. Get into the feeling. Yes. Stay grounded. Keep your foot flat on the floor. Sa, 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 sa. Very nice. All right, let's try challenging ourselves to 140 BPM. Step, 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 step. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Keep that core activated. You feel that upper body feeling? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. All right. How did that feel? If it's your first time, probably awkward. Even if it's your, I don't know, 10th time, could still be awkward, right? This directly and indirectly will correspond to what we're about to learn, all right? We're gonna move to the foundational step of shuffling, the shuffle, originally known as the shuffle, also known as the T shuffle, and more so today, it's modernly known as the T step, all right? So the T step traditionally will look like this, right? Where you are pivoting and shuffling your foot across the floor, right? Hitting a nice heel toe motion, right? That's how you're gonna carry yourself to one side and the other side, okay? So this T-step motion, I've heard before that when you stomp with one leg right here, you create a letter T with your feet. I've heard that before, and that's why it's as known as the T-step. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that before, right? Because now, not only can you stomp here, you can stomp here, you can stomp over here, you can stomp over here, you can stomp over here. You've probably heard you can go on the toe, hit here, on the heel, yes? Toe, it's completely up to you, right? You can do your T-step in place. So we're gonna just start there. Right here, we are keeping the balls of our feet where our weight is, but we're gonna be shuffling our heel on the floor, creating this kind of noise, yes? Just right here, okay? Ta, 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 ta. And one thing I want you to really focus on as we're doing this is where are we facing with our hips as well as our shoulders, right? So when we hit boom with our T, coming into this spot right here, I like to shift my hips over so that I'm squared with my feet, especially with my left foot. My toes facing that way, so my hips are gonna face this way, and maybe my upper body too, I'm gonna face this way, yeah? And I'm bring it in and do the same thing. So then now I'm here with my T step. Or I can keep my body here, yes? Or I can hit this motion here to create, I'm still squaring up with my hips, my shoulder, and my feet, all right? Same thing with the other side, right? When I hit this movement here, I'm opening up with my hip. Same thing we were talking about, the crunch, open, I'm opening up into my T. Yes, da, da. Okay. So now coming back to that T step, we are in this perch position. This is the exact same perch position that we're going to be learning for the running man with the T step. I like to keep it nice and loose here. Shout out Sierra Castro. I took one of her classes, and what stuck to me was this position right here, having a nice loose ankle, and even the toe pointing down will make just extra cleanliness, but that's not necessary. If you want to keep it flexed in this direction, great. It's up to you if you want to choose dorsiflexion or plantar flexion there. I like to keep it relaxed. Then boom, and my T step there. Yes. And you're going to start to notice as you do these movements and you're traveling with it, right? You need to get used to this. Yes. On both feet. It's essentially this, right? You need to get used to this. Okay. So as we're doing this, I want you to really focus on hitting these angles with your T step. All right. So just practice with me. Just a few different directions. You can go to the back if you want, whatever you like. Okay. Go to the front on the other leg, whatever you like. Try focusing on coming back to that perched position. Yeah. This perched position is going to be your foundational transition point. Okay. And then it's really like up to you, up to the community, up to each dancer and your own interpretation. At what point does it not become a T step, right? Because like I was saying, you could T over here, you could T in the air, right? You could T in the air. Maybe you're gonna T against your knee, right? Maybe you're gonna pivot and stomp, I don't know, up instead of down, right? So it's up to you if you want to differentiate as at a different step or the same step, just a variation, okay? So now let's go ahead and try the reverse T step. Something that I didn't learn until like 3 years into my shuffle journey that I wish I had learned day one. So this is day one, all right? So here, instead of bringing your heel in and traveling to the side that you are stomping with your leg, you're gonna be traveling to the other side, bringing your toe out, 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 out. And the same thing when you're doing this, I want you to shift your upper body, really hit these angles, yes? To create some cleanliness in your upper body and that idea that you're always going to be squaring your hips with your upper body and your feet, okay? Again, try hitting those T steps, right? Other leg as well. Reverse T steps, yes. Reverse is when you're going in the opposite direction of the stomping leg. If you're stomping with this leg here, going that way would be reverse, exactly. Say if I was stomping with this leg, if I was going that way, what would it be? Regular T step, yeah. Regular, reverse. Regular, okay? So now let's go ahead and keep practicing that reverse T step. Boom, boom, boom. Very nice. Other side, ziggy, ziggy, ziggy. I like to come down flat on my foot. Later, you're gonna know why. It's because this allows me to have freedom to transition into other steps, such as your foundational step of the Melbourne Shuffle, moderately known as the running man, okay? Because if I'm flat here, I can easily transition into my running man, no problem, okay? If you go on the heel, then you just need to mentally note that if you're on the heel and you want to go into your running man, you have to put it flat on the floor, yes? Same thing if you're on the toe and you want to go into your running man, you just got to mentally note you're going to go flat on the floor for your running man, okay? So now that we've established that this movement here, try it with me, this movement here is going to be very key for your T step. With the stomping leg, a little bit easier. Without it, definitely requires a lot more strength and control. All right, let's move on to kind of sort of what I like to call an additional derivative, right? It's an added layer to your T-stepping, okay? It's called rocking. And this is actually what the Melbourne Shuffle, what a lot of local Melbourne Shufflers used to call them, was just rockers, right? Because they would just get the rock on, right? Through your T-steps, their T-shuffle, right? And they would just get their rock on through simply their rock. There's no running mans, yes, no running mans, but you're still shuffling, right? You're still shuffling. You're still getting your rock on, you're rocking. You have an economy of space, you're covering space, right? You're traveling left and right, and you kind of get this sort of like boom, boom, figure eight almost kind of motion here. Zoom, 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 zoom. So what is the underlying layer that you need to do to get used to rocking from your T-steps is this. I like to drill this with my students. I've done this one before. Try this with me, everybody. You're just going back and forth, like so. Boom, switch, boom, switch. Keep your foot flat on the floor and really get used to sliding and shuffling your foot across the floor. Okay, get used to this movement, get used to it, because this is going to be a variation to what you can do to your foot. Aside from pivoting, you can also drag it. Yeah, you can drag it and shuffle it this way, or you can shuffle it this way, whatever you want. Primarily at the foundation, to be able to pivot at every single opportunity you get is going to be ideal, but there are going to be some moments where you want to simply drag it like I just did there, right? If I were to do this sequence, right? Back, front, over, open. Back, front, over, open. We've probably seen the sequence a million times. It's one of those sequences that everybody teaches on day one of learning how to do your T-steps and rocking, right? You could do it with a pivot. It would look something like this. Yes. Yes. Okay, so that was with the pivot. Now I can do that exact same back, front, over, open, back, front, over, open sequence. But this time I'm gonna drag my foot without changing the orientation of my foot and without pivoting, okay? So now it might look a little bit something like this. All right, you kind of feel the vibe change, yeah? One can be a little more crispy with this. The other looks still crispy, but smoother because you're just dragging your foot and you're able to maybe travel a little bit more than your typical pivot, yes? That's where I think for me, having the balance of both and combining the two, yeah? So being able to drag and pivot at the same time, for me is the most optimal way to go about it, right? If you want to cover some space yet still have that nice crispy T-steps, I would encourage you to combine both dragging and pivoting into your shuffle. All right, so let's go ahead and practice that sequence. Why not? Back, front, over, open. Back, front, over, open. Back, front, over. Try it with me. Back, front, over, open. Back, front, over, open. Back, front, over, open. Okay, you might be asking, when I come into this position here, am I doing a regular T-step or am I doing a reverse T-step? Completely up to you, all right? There's no right or wrong with this. This is simply a foundational step. It's up to you to take it and play with it and make it your own, okay? So I would encourage you to switch between it. Feel the floor with your heel. Feel the floor with your toe. Both of it, yeah? I like to feel the floor from the mid of my foot right here. Keep my weight on my mid foot. So right here, I might do a reverse T-step and then I'm back to my regular T-steps. I'll do a reverse T-step once and I'm back to my regular T-steps. You feel me? So interchangeably, you kind of want to just get used to doing it both sides, all right? And both sides of your legs, and also reverse and regular, all right? So let's go ahead and keep trying that sequence. Let's try with music this time. Let's go. All right, with music, that same back, front, over, open sequence. Let's try. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. 6, 7, 8. Throw in that upper body we were learning earlier. Crunch open, crunch open, crunch open, crunch open. Hey, 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 crunch open, crunch open, crunch open. Yeah, arms. And the other side. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that again. This time, really give focus to that upper body. Yeah, give focus to that upper body because that's gonna be essential. You're not gonna be twisting every single movement for now. To keep it simple, when you're pivoting on your left leg, look over to the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. 5, 6, 7. Use your head to guide your upper body. And you kind of get this nice movement with the rocking sequence. Okay? So you kind of shift your upper body to show your back to the camera. You feel me? Boom. And boom. And boom. Boom. Okay? This upper body flow, this movement to distinguish whether you're gonna turn, twist, whatever it may be, it's gonna be essential, right? Because there's so many other T-steps. This one, I'm twisting, yes? Twisting, so if I mix it in, I could be here, and I twist, and I switch, right? So you can really play around with this upper body movement to create different flavors with it, all right? So cool. I used to think it was super boring. Now I think it's pretty cool, all right? So let's go ahead and play some music. Same thing, rocking sequence, back, front, over, open, giving more focus to your upper body. Let's go. All right. You ready? Feel it out. Feel it out. Yeah? Okay, let's go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, you ready to try to some 140 BPM music? You're probably like, no, of course I'm not ready. How am I supposed to be able to do that? No worries, we're gonna push yourselves outside of comfort zone. Let's try it out. Let's get into that groove. That feeling that you wanna have when you're doing your rocking, right? When you're doing the Melbourne Shuffle or any style of shuffling in general, getting into that faster BPM will help you tap into that heavier feeling, all right? Let's go ahead and play some 140 BPM and let's practice that sequence. Let's go. Okay. Step, 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 step. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. Hey. Hey. Keep your foot flat on the floor. Stay grounded. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Keep your knees bent the whole time. Shift your upper body. All right, so that's going to be kind of your introduction to T-stepping and how you can mix your reverse T-step into your rocking sequence and understanding that you can change between your pivots and your drags. They're both shuffling because you create this noise on the floor that you're shuffling your foot on the floor, yes? I'm going to do a demo to 140 BPM, how you can style your round with just your T-steps, right? Because we do see today a lot of the different shuffle styles like Cali, Malaysian, even Melbourne, as we see it today. We say Running Man is a foundational step of it. I agree, but you can also not even have a Running Man and still have a full solid shuffle round, okay? So I'm gonna demo that really quick. I'm gonna be doing a lot of different T-step sequences to the back, maybe some in the air, maybe I'll throw a quick slide in there, yes? Let's go. I'll do a demo watch me one time how you can get really creative with just those foundational steps. Here we go. Hey. All right. I hope all of that made sense with the whole, right? You can be creative with just a singular step, and it's up to you to determine whether you're still T-stepping or not, right? That's where it's up to you. If you want to stick to the traditional T-step or get creative and make it your own, all right? Now we're going to move on to the second foundational step, our running man, okay? The same thing with this. There's a bunch of different ways that you could do your running man. But when it comes to your Melbourne Shuffle, when it comes to the styles like Malaysian, Cali, or even creating your own style of shuffling to heavier music that it came from, right? Where it originated from, techno, trance, hardstyle, where the BPM is in the 130s, 140s, 150s even, right? This is where I want to help you understand that the feeling is very grounded and very different from your typical shapes, bounce, or feeling that you're gonna get, all right? So, one thing I wanna explain with your running man is that you want to be able to travel left and right as well, not just face forward, right? The same concept of shifting your weight over this way and that way and traveling this way with it and traveling this way with it is going to be super duper helpful when it comes to combining it with your rocking, your T-steps. All right? So, with your running man, your standard running man, I like to come to this perch position. When I open up here, I like to go flat on the floor on my midfoot, okay? I'm not trying to land on my heel like this. I'm not trying to land on my toe and keep my heel off the floor, okay? I like to land flat on my midfoot. Keep my knees bent. And I'm gonna be here with my running mats, okay? And 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. You wanna get used to this motion once again. Because from here, if you think about it, you're doing it 2 times. 1, 2. Yes, left foot is on the floor. To get to that position, it just does this 2 times, while the other leg goes up, down. Yeah? You feel me? Again, tiki-ta, 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 tiki-ta. And this is where that upper body motion, for me, helps me a lot gain momentum and find that flow within the fast BPM. Because if I just kept myself here, up here, this kind of feeling, with my upper body stiff, I'm not going to really find a very good flow here. What you want to add is that with the upper body that we're practicing at the very beginning. Now it's all going to come together, okay? So that's crunch, open, crunch, open, crunch, open, crunch, open. When you're doing this, right, really think about tightening that core. Keep it activated the whole time, okay? Crunch, open, open, crunch, open, crunch, open. Keep your knees bent the whole time. Okay, I'll face the front now, adding a few more elements to your running man. When you're doing this, standardly, we learn it to go opposite arm, opposite shoulder. Okay? This is okay. I love to have the flow, the same flow that we have with our T-steps here in a rocking sequence. where we're shifting our upper body to one side, we hold it and shift it to the other side, hold it. I love this feeling, right? Creates that flow, you're able to travel, okay? Same thing, when I do my running man, I like to go one side of the body, other side of the body. Shift to the other side, shift to the other side. You have a little swimmer's arm here, swimming, or you could just place it. Yeah, easier. Just place it. Feel me? Shift, show the back, shift, show the other side. Shift, show the other side, and shift, show the other side. All right? Kind of getting the groove? Okay, a few more elements. Now, I want you to think about where you're placing this foot, because there are so many different variations. Of course, you can come to the side and do your running man. You can go outwards. You can come across your body, right? For me, as a standard, I like to think of it like you're walking on a tightrope. Okay? Like you're walking on a tightrope. And some might even call it cross-legged running man. It's a misunderstanding in the community that if you cross your legs over like this, I feel like it's a misunderstanding that if you cross your legs, you're doing a Malaysian shuffle or something like this. Malaysian shuffle, yes, you commonly cross your legs, but that doesn't get rid of the fact that in Melbourne shuffling, in Cali style, or any other style of shuffler that doesn't necessarily identify as a Malaysian shuffle, they still cross their leg over, right, in their own flavor, okay? So the same thing with this, I want you to try and focus on crossing your legs over like you're on a tightrope, okay? And if you want to go a little further with it, great. And use your upper body to shift. Shift, yeah, whenever you want, wherever feels right, versus having to do this all the time. You can hold it in one position and go to the other position and allow that to guide you in traveling with that, okay? So yeah, cross-legged running man doesn't necessarily mean you're doing a Malaysian style running man, okay? Let's go ahead and combine everything into our own little flow. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4 pan, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep it there. 1, 2, 3, 4 pan, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep it there. Let's try. Panning first. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. Okay. The important thing here is to remind ourselves to keep our foot flat on the floor. I can't emphasize this enough. When you keep your foot flat on the floor, you get used to the feeling of being grounded and keeping your knees bent. Yes, keep your knees bent and really feel the floor, and you'll get used to sliding it. And this is where you can start to characterize it in any way you like, right? Any way you like, right? Because I don't necessarily identify myself as a Melbourne shuffler, but I take the foundations of the Melbourne shuffle and make it my own, right? So maybe I'll come into a larger stride here. Yes. Maybe I'll bring my knee up a little higher. Okay. Still using the same elements we talked about today. Boom. Very grounded, knees still bent. Keeping my foot flat on the floor, yes? Flat on the floor. One thing to note, as you increase the stride, I would say that back leg, now the heel comes off the floor. It doesn't necessarily stay there, okay? So you can take note, your heel does come off the floor as you get wider and wider with your stride, okay? Heel comes off the floor. So now you're here, and you're here, and you're here, okay? And this is where combining it with your rocking, especially with the drag, can be very interesting. This is where they overlap. The pathways overlap. For instance, I could be here with my running man, and I could hit ta, 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 yes? Feel me? I can go back, front, and continue with my running man seamlessly to continue this flow. Back, front, yes. Back, front, yes. It's important to note that for even the T-step and your running man, the perch is a transition point. So if you can get to this point every single time, I can tell you, this is like textbook. You can get here, clean textbook, all right? No matter where you are, if you're here and you hit a little boom, or you hit a little boom, come back to this position to decide where you want to go next. Boom, maybe you want to go running man's, yes? Or maybe boom, back into your running man, yes? Sticky, okay? Now, all of a sudden, you're combining your running mans with different places that you can stomp your leg, right? A huge element to shuffling in the Melbourne Shuffle, stomping. Up, down motion, yes? Constantly stomping very intentionally in different areas, staying grounded. And that's where you can start incorporating your pivot. Okay? Now start to incorporate your running mans. We're in the air, in the perch. Then you can decide T. Then back into your running mans. Yes? T. Flick it back into your running mans, for instance. Yes? You can go back, front, running mans, reverse T. Okay? You can really play with it. So many endless combinations, variations, sequences that really, at the end of the day, which way you're going to be traveling, right? You can choose, but here's a little simple tip with that traveling aspect. With your T-steps, right? Reverse T-step, your drags. For me, when you're dragging, wherever that heel is pointing, that's the direction you're going to go. So if I'm standing here, my heel is pointing that way, that's the direction I'm going to go. If I turn my heel with my body, that's how I can maneuver into where I want to go with it. Yes? That's how I can maneuver, decide where I want to go with it. Okay? When it comes to your T-steps and your regular T-step, when you do your regular T, wherever this side of the foot is facing, that's the direction you're going to go. Wherever this side of the foot is facing, that's the direction you're going to go. Right? So if I'm trying to do my reverse T-step, I might fall into this kind of curve because I'm going to turn my body like so. Yes? Same thing with the other side. I might open up into this kind of feeling here. Yes? Diggy. Intentional with my perch, coming back up here, not getting lazy, going here. You can do this. This is a cool, smooth feeling. I'm someone who likes to be sharp, so I'll always come back here with my teeth, okay? Then with your regular T-steps, like I said, this is gonna be the direction that's gonna determine where you're traveling, okay? So keep those in mind. Keep these nuggets in mind, as you might say, all right? Let's go ahead and try to some music, combining everything we learned today, right? Running man, your T-step, you're rocking, you're dragging, you're pivoting, all these things, you're grounded, knees bent, crunch and open, use your arms, directional changes, cover your space, all right? Let's try it out, let's go. All right, let's go, okay? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're gonna try that one more time. So this time, I want you to think about really this mathematical approach that I also use in the Cutting Shapes 101 is anything that adds up to 8. Or just simply thinking 2, 2, or 4, 4, or 1, 3, yes? 1 running man, 3 T-steps. 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 Okay? Or you could just think 4 of each. So you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, go T, 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 T. 1, 2, 3, 4, go T, 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 T. 1, 2, 3, 4, T, 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 T. Yes? Or you could even think about it as right side, left side. Go to the right, go to the left. Okay? Completely up to you. Keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself. Have fun. Let's go. One more time. All right. Pick and choose what you like for your pattern, or just go random. Whatever works for you. Let's go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey, hey. 4, 4, 5, 2, 2, 2. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. All right, how did that feel, everyone? Good? Bad? So-so? Whatever it may be, as long as you're having fun, that's the number one most important thing, all right? So now let's dive into some additional foundational elements that we see in the Melbourne Shuffle traditionally. Also, from there, you can style it in any way you like. Shuffle however way you like, right? So let's see. Kicks, spins, and glides and slides. I feel like these 4 things are what you can add traditionally to your Melbourne, right? So a slide could be something like as simple as that. Yeah. Hop onto one foot, put the toe down, slide it out. Yes. Hop onto one foot, put the toe down, slide it out. Okay. Feel like this is a pretty simple slide that you could use to combine it with your shuffling. Okay. Kicks. Say you kick like that. You can do a kick, a kick, yes, a kick, or you can even think about it as a chug, yes, because your foot is going forward and back, so you're chugging your foot, like so, boom. You could even do that with a spin, so now you're not only kicking, you can kick and turn, and now you're here, you feel me? Now you got layers with your freestyle, now you can go tiki, tiki, toe, slide. Ooh, that one's nice. Yes. And then you got kicks, spins, glides. So many different kicks you can do. Yeah, with your T-step, you can do a kick T-step. So instead of stomping on the floor, you can go into kick, 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 back into your running mans. Yes. A little tough on the other side. Okay. With your spin, it could be as simple as doing your running man while spinning. So you're here. You could put your running man, instead of stomping in front of you, you stomp behind you. Now you got yourself a nice, sweet running man with a turn kind of spin situation. All right? So many possibilities. And that's like what you can traditionally add to your Melbourne shuffling or your shuffling, right? Even with your gliding, I like to normally go into some things like that, or maybe just throw in a quick moonwalk into my run. Yes, whatever you like, whatever you like. Outside of that, you can do whatever you like. You can throw shapes, you can add some groundwork, you can throw in some arm work and combine it with your feet. So many possibilities. This is where it's not great to always confine ourselves into certain labels or certain styles. That's why we take the foundations and we always make it our own. Okay? So that's gonna be it for all the different foundational steps and elements that we see, that I see, right? This is how I teach it. Maybe somebody else who teaches this, maybe completely different or maybe similar, but different things. All right? One more thing. We're gonna go back to that running man. One more thing. The bounce. Okay? This is so like, when I realized this, everything changed for me. All right? So, when you're doing your running mans, right here, down. When you come into your stomp, for me, when I get bigger and more aggressive, right, and my knees get higher, and I want to bring more energy to it and attitude, I will use this as a guide. So we're going heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. If it was like a EKG or like a electrocardiogram, right? Down, up, heavy, light. Okay, so that's taka, 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 heavy, light, heavy, light. That's where you can get heavy. I'm going down, right? I'm not staying up here. I'm going down with it, and then I'll stay up here and then down with it. Then when you add in the bounce, this double tempo, it becomes down, up, hey, 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 hey. It becomes this kind of groove, okay? Boom, boom, boom. And what's funny is this is what we naturally do when we listen to techno or like some heavier music. You already go like this. So you just gotta combine dun, 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 almost, yeah? So that's dun, dun, dun. So slow, you get boom, 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 boom. Okay, so when you do it slow, you see the difference in the bounce, the first one and the second one. Lower, lower, yes? When you go faster, that's where it doesn't get as apparent, but it's there, okay? It's there. Heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. Go down, 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 down. And yes, you do need a level of getting used to this. Muscle memory, building the strength with your hip flexors, your glutes, all of these things, right? Your abs, everything. Hamstring, quads, everything goes into this bounce. This is how you can really create your own little steez, own little swag switch, okay? Versus staying here in this bounce, right? You feel me? You see the difference? Versus, yeah? You feel the difference? Okay. Even if you don't feel it, I hope you can see it. The feeling is definitely different, all right? Amazing things have been talked about today. A lot of different points. Thank you so much for coming in today. I believe this is like one of my first tutorials on the Melbourne Shuffle 101. That's gonna be it today. I'll see you guys in the next video. One last round, let's go. All right, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you wanna keep on learning from me, be sure to check out my free tutorials on YouTube. But if you want more accurate and up-to-date information, be sure to check out my online academy at shufflebabyacademy.com. I'll see you guys in another video. Woo!